You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
Before this podcast kicks off, let's talk about goals. The greatest goal is a Native Tree crowdfunding campaign, leaving a legacy for Aotearoa New Zealand as co-hosts of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023. Visit treesthatcount.co.nz to donate a native tree for a brighter future.
Football Fever with News Talk ZB's voice of football, Jason Pine and Bonnie Jansen with Trees That Count. Donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal.
Welcome in to Football Fever. This is your daily World Cup podcast with treesthatcount.co.nz as we reflect on the end of the road for the Football Ferns.
It is despair in Dunedin. The World Cup dream ends here.
It does. A 0-0 draw with Switzerland in Dunedin last night. Not enough to see the Ferns through. Norway's big win over the Philippines up in Auckland saw them move through. They have the same number of points as New Zealand, but a better goal difference, and they go through with the Swiss. New Zealand are out of this Football World Cup. They certainly had their chances, particularly in the first half, a great period of 20 minutes or so where they created plenty. Jackie Hand, the breakout star of this World Cup, more from her in a sec, with a dipping volley over the top of the Swiss keeper, Gael Talman, hitting the post and away to safety. Ultimately, New Zealand couldn't find the goal that they needed, which would have taken them through. Let's hear some post-match reaction out of the New Zealand camp. Let's go to Jackie Hand. Just a terrific tournament for her. Seeing her roll her ankle last night, get it strapped up and come back on was pretty inspirational, and the way she's played during this tournament has been wonderful to see. Michael Burgess from the New Zealand Herald caught up with Jackie Hand afterwards to gauge her reaction.
A lot, yeah, it's definitely heartbreaking, but I'm so proud of this team, and we've exceeded all expectations for us this tournament. I'm so proud of what we have achieved, and it came right down to the wire, so just really proud.
Played so well against Norway, played really well again tonight, especially the first half. So it makes that Philippines performance look quite strange in a way. It really seems like chalk and cheese.
That's football, isn't it? Some games go the way you think they are and some games don't. And I think it's just a credit to the Philippines how well they played against us. But, tonight proves that, we can be consistent and we can put out performances against top teams.
How were you feeling in that first half? Because the Ferns for about 20 minutes were just really dominant. You must have been feeling so confident that something was coming.
Yeah, for sure. Even going into the game, we were confident and we knew that we could do it. And I think, we just gained more and more confidence as we dominated the game. And it's just a bit disappointing we couldn't put one away. What was your view of that another hitting the woodwork? It must feel like, how does that feel when it happens the second game in a row? It's like, it's football. As a striker, you're going to miss a lot, you're going to score a lot, and I think the hitting the post again in such a crucial game too definitely hurts a little, but the fact that we were creating the chances and to get the shots on felt good.
Because it's not really a miss, it's unlucky, like it from that angle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm happy with the ball that was played was unbelievable, and to get in and get that shot away, I'm happy with, but obviously not happy because I missed.
That came from Katie, right?
Yeah.
The ball. Mm-hmm. And what was your view of it? Did you see it quite early?
Yeah, I think we worked on a bit, looking at the opposite centre back playing through diagonal balls, and so as soon as she had it, I was making that run, and I think Wilkie, kind of flicked it on a little bit, and I just saw it through and trying to hit it home, didn't quite hit it home, but things happen.
That's Jackie Hand. That is a name to remember. Remember that name, Jackie Hand. She is set to wear the football fern for a long time to come, as is midfielder Malia Steinmetz. Here are some of her thoughts after the game.
Just gutting. I think obviously we talked and we were proud of ourselves and what we've been able to accomplish, but at the end of the day we wanted to get out of this group stage and we just didn't. And I think that's just black and white, and so obviously gutted. I think it's just take away the positives from this, and that football never ends, and we've got another cycle, we've got another heaps of stuff coming up, and that this is just the benchmark that we've set for ourselves. Yeah, I think football, it's a game of two halves, so we just needed to execute and we didn't. it's just something we're going to keep working on and keep doing until the day we do execute and get away with these wins. It's hard. I think you go out there and you don't really play for yourself, you play for others. And so I just feel for the girls that I wanted to play for and wanted to get out of the group stage for and just wasn't able to.
Malia Steinmetz, that's another name to remember and to look forward to watching many, many more times over the next few years in a New Zealand shirt. But what now for Ellie Riley, captain of this side? Unlikely that she'll feature at the next World Cup. Any thoughts of retirement were put to one side last night as she reflected on the game. First of all, on the approach of the Swiss side.
I think they had a plan. They knew, I guess we all knew what was going on at halftime. We didn't know the score, but we knew we had to win. They knew a draw was enough, and that changes the game. But they were smart. I still think we had chances, and I think we'll be hungry for the next one. I think I've left the last 4 tournaments feeling so heartbroken, helpless, hopeless, and this time I think this team will be hungry. It motivates me to keep going, to be honest, because I love this team. I think we've really turned a corner. I think the support we had around the country was so motivating. We felt the love every game from not just New Zealand, but all around the world. I think this tournament has been incredible, and we're so proud that it was here in New Zealand and it's been so successful. So it's going to be tough now to watch the rest, but I'm really proud of my teammates. That's football. That's life. We can't look back and have regrets, and we want to make sure then this game, I think if we remember this game, we left it all out there. And it's the World Cup, and the Philippines, that game, I'm happy for them. They got a taste, and they deserve to win that game just by putting the ball in the back of the net. But I think we've showed that we play exciting football. We showed that we can get the crowd pumping, and it's a lot to build on. And with the young players that made an impact in this tournament, Malia playing from start, Jackie, Indy, players who came back from injury, they worked so hard to come back for this tournament, with Flea, Rhea, Liv having a knee injury as well. And there's so many small wins I think that we can take from this, but I'm not going to dwell on the Philippines game. It's something that we learned from, and we were better this game. I think part of knowing just psychologically that we were starting to feel the pressure of needing to score. We got a little bit stretched. They knew, they didn't really have to start putting things together. That helps you play with a little bit of freedom, I think, knowing that you can get the draw. I think we made changes, and the players who came in gave everything they had. It's so awesome to have Gabby out there. She showed her speed. She won us important, set pieces. And, yeah, it was just it was a classic match where there's just ebbs and flows and different momentum, and we still felt to the very end that we had a chance and we were in it. Vic, of course the 2 set pieces go straight to her, but she gave everything as well. And as a defender, I'm proud of the clean sheet for the first, 2 of the games.
Those are the thoughts of New Zealand captain Ellie Riley after the game. As I say, her future is TBC, to be confirmed, as are, I guess, the futures of a couple of other of the senior members of this side, the likes of Annalie Longo, Hannah Wilkinson, Rhea Percival. Will we see them again in a New Zealand shirt? Will they go around for another World Cup cycle? Just want to mention Katie Bowen as well. I must admit, I personally had reservations about Katie Bowen going into this tournament playing at centre-back. She's played much of her football career in midfield, but I thought she was again a standout, and in fact last night the best New Zealand player out there, Katie Bowen. And really interesting to see her get quite emotional during the national anthem, and then again at the end. She's not a player who is known for that sort of thing. She's always pretty level in the way she approaches things. But yeah, Katie Bowen, I think, certainly enhanced her reputation across this World Cup. Who knew? She's a centre back now, unattached, I believe. So maybe a player that the Wellington Phoenix might have a look at, or somebody else. So there we go. That is the end of the road for the Football Ferns. What a ride it has been. A 1-0 win over Norway, a 1-0 loss to the Philippines, a 0-0 draw with the Swiss. It was ultimately not enough for the Football Ferns as they go out in the group stages.
Football Fever with Jason Pine and Bonnie Jansen with Trees That Count. Donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal.
Bonnie Jansen back with us midweek. Let's look at last night's other games. In Group A, Norway finally woke from their World Cup slumber, putting 6 past the Philippines, enough to see them through to the knockout rounds. Their biggest win in a major tournament since they beat South Korea 7-1 at the 2003 World Cup. Sophie Haug becoming the fourth Norwegian player to score a hat-trick at the World Cup. It also featured the quickest ever brace scored by a Norwegian player from the start of the match. Her second goal came in the 17th minute. Huge upset in the early game yesterday. Morocco, 72nd in the world, beating 17th ranked Korea Republic 1-0. Ibtissam Draidi scoring Morocco's first World Cup goal, a 6th-minute header, which was enough to get them the win. And also yesterday afternoon's game was notable for the fact that Moroccan defender Nouhaila Benzina became the first player in the history of the World Cup to wear a hijab at the tournament. And the late game last night, goodness me, well and truly worth staying up for after the Ferns game. Colombia, 25th in the world, beating world number 2 Germany 2-1 in Sydney, courtesy of a winner in the 97th minute from Manuela Vanegas. Linda Casado netted a wonderful, wonderful opening goal for Colombia to give them the lead. Germany equalised from the penalty spot in the 89th minute. Alexandra Pop on target. It looked as though it was going to be a 1-1 draw, but then Vanegas heading home Lisi Santos's corner, and the Colombians in the crowd there last night in Sydney went absolutely bonkers, and why not? Germany, though, their first World Cup defeat in group stage play since 1995. It's the longest ever run without defeat by a nation in the competition's group round. Up till last night, they had gone 20 group games without defeat, but Colombia beating them 2-1 last night.
While this podcast takes a halftime break, let's talk about The Greatest Goal, a crowdfunding campaign leaving a legacy for Aotearoa New Zealand as co-hosts of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023 by asking fans to donate a native tree. Each native tree costs just $10, and whether you donate one or many, you'll be contributing to amazing restoration projects across Aotearoa. Visit treesthatcount.co.nz to donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal. Looks like we're ready to kick off the second half.
Football Fever Podcast with Trees That Count. Donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal.
So let's look ahead to tonight's action. This is a terrific night of football ahead. 7 o'clock tonight, blockbuster clash in Wellington. Two of the best teams at the World Cup so far. Spain against Japan. Spain have scored 8 unanswered goals in their first 2 games. Japan, 7 unanswered goals in their first 2 games. So the winner of this one will top the group, and they will play Norway in the round of 16. The loser of the game, or Japan, if it's a draw, will play Switzerland. So keep eyes on this in Wellington. They both know they're through. Really, I'm not sure that there's too much between Switzerland and Norway in terms of getting a real advantage by finishing top or not finishing top. I just hope these two sides go out and go at one another. Very different styles. Japan very metronomic and efficient in everything they do. Spain with just that touch of flair that has served them so well. So get your eyes on this, 7 o'clock tonight. The other game at the same time is Costa Rica against Zambia in Hamilton. Both of these two sides know that they are going home after this match, both looking to end their World Cups on a high. So you get the feeling that Costa Rica and Zambia will go out relatively unencumbered tonight and look to win their first World Cup point. And then the focus turns to Australia. 10 o'clock tonight, the Matildas up against the Olympic champions Canada at what will be a jam-packed Melbourne rectangular stadium. Australia need to win to ensure their passage to the round of 16. There is a scenario under which a draw will be enough, but it seems unlikely. Australia need to go out there like New Zealand last night and try and win the game. Canada only need to draw to go through. Australia have been a bit up and down at this tournament. They beat Ireland first up, but that loss to Nigeria the other night means that they are in must-win territory now. Happily for them, Sam Kerr is fit to play, their captain, their best player, their talisman, their main source of goals. She is fit to play. How much part she plays, though, remains to be seen. We still don't really know whether she will start the game, whether she'll be used from the bench, and what her capacity is to play 90 minutes, for example, with that calf niggle that has been afflicting her and has kept her out of the first 2 games. So Australia, Canada tonight. Canada, Olympic champions. They're no mugs. They're a good team. We saw New Zealand go out last night. Could both co-hosts possibly exit in the group stages? And at the same time, Nigeria up against Ireland in Brisbane. Nigeria know that a draw is enough to send them through. Ireland cannot progress. Even if they win tonight, that will not be enough for them. So this is their last game of the tournament. But Nigeria, after their 3-2 win over Australia the other night, a draw enough, a win certainly enough to see them through. So a very exciting night's action ahead, both on this side of the Tasman and that side of the Tasman too. We will break it all down for you tomorrow when a fresh episode of Football Fever drops at around about this time. It is in many ways a sad day across Aotearoa with New Zealand football ferns. What a ride they've taken us on, but the ride ended under the roof in Dunedin last night. We can, talk about it some more over the next few days, but the bottom line is that New Zealand's football ferns have exited the FIFA World Cup. We'll see you tomorrow.
In this post-match review, let's score the greatest goal by donating a native tree to leave a legacy for Aotearoa New Zealand as co-hosts of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023. Visit treesthatcount.co.nz to donate a native tree for a brighter future.
Football Fever with Jason Pine and Bonnie Jansen with Trees That Count. Donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal. For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.